really this is like a little bit of a continuation of last week's share, but more in depth.
Okay. In the middle, I have to get up for 1 second. Somebody has to call me.
Okay, sure.
I ask him Mechila.
We have a lot of different minhogim brought in Svarim about when exactly are the days of Aveilus between Pesach and Atzeres. The Gemara says in Yevamis that all the time that the Talmidim Rabbi Akiva passed away, Kula Meisimi Pesach ad Atzeres, from Pesach till Shavuos. When exactly in this period of time were they nifter, or to put it more precisely, exactly when do we observe the minhagim of Aveilus during this period of time is the subject of a lot of different minhagim. There's actually a minig, the Beis Yosef, Mechaber and Shulchan Aruch held that it's 34 days. It's not Lag BaOmer, 34 days. There's another shita says 33 days, another shita says 32 days. Well, within these shittas itself, the shaila is which half? Beginning, the end. Which half is the Iker Zman of the Aveilus? So I wanted to discuss each minig and what is the different sources for the minig. The Maisa, the Mechaber, the Beis Yosef says he found a Medrash. The Medrash says, the Lashon of the Medrash is, I'm going to read it out loud from Beis Yosef. He quotes from one of the Rishonim. It's not on the paper. One of the Rishonim, Ibn Yosef Ibn Shoyev, who says, Shamaiti, I heard Sheyesh Medrash, Shemeisu mi Pesach, ad Prois Hatzares. From Pesach, not Mamish till Hatzares, till Prois Hatzares, before Hatzares. How long does Prois Hatzares mean? Hu tes vav yoyim koydem Hatzares. 15 days before Shavuos. Like we find in other Gemaras, we find in Mishkan Shkalim, that Prois HaPesach or Prois HaChag means 15 days before Pesach, 15 days before Tishrei. So this Medrash will come out that we have to calculate 15 minus 15 of the 49 days, the Sfiras Omer, which would come out that we would
49 minus 15.
40 is 34.
34.
Comes out that the 34 days they passed away.
Not long.
For 34 days. Now, the 34th day itself, we're going to apply the Klal, Gadol, and Aveilus, that the Yom Achron, the last day of Aveilus, you don't have to observe the full day. We're Mekel, and we say, Mixes Hayoim Kekuli.
In the morning, usually the Aveilus get up in the morning.
In the morning, just like you see by Shiva, that the Avelim get up in the morning, the last day in the morning, they get up. Mixes Hayoim Kekuli. The Beis Yosef even brings that there is a Shita in Rishonim, the Ramban holds that you could even say that about the night. Even if mixes halayla, just having a part of the night is ki'ilu you have kol hayom kuli. La halacha, that's not makubal, that shita. La halacha, we hold you have to have the whole night and a little bit of the day. It's probably inside the klal of rubei kekuli because you have roiv. I'm not sure, but mix you have the whole night and you have a little bit of the day. That's a shemixah kekuli. But according to the Shita of the Beis Yosef, based on this Medrash, the minig is 34 days.
It's actually 33. 34 is only...
Right, but we're going to say 34 because according to, first of all, it's 34 days.
It's not the whole day, but it's just a little bit.
Right, if you're going to say 33, then we're going to go and make Mixay and Kakule 33. So you have to say it's 34.
Full 33?
34 days, and the 34th day, either like you make Mixay and Kakule by the daytime, or you make it even further like the Ramban, that even Mixay Laila. That's the Beis Yosef quotes this Ramban. So Lamaisa, he brings down the Beis Yosef interesting minig. He says we see some people have a minig that on Rish Chodesh Iyar they take a haircut. Where did this minig come from? He says it's a mistake, this minig. What's Rish Chodesh Iyar? How are you allowed? Rish Chodesh Iyar is in the middle of the 34 days.
Right.
So how are they taking a haircut? So
And how did they get to Rosh Chodesh?
it's based on something. We'll take a look at the
Why
papers
did
that we
they pick up
have.
Rosh Chodesh?
Why do they take on Rish Chodesh?
Why did people
say you're not
Rosh
supposed to take a haircut.
Yeah, that's right. That's supposed to be a So why? There's a question why they did Rish Chodesh, but they were making Rish Chodesh Iyar. So Beis Yosef says it's a mistake, and he explains what this mistake is based on. Let's take a look over here in the Maril. This is really the Makor for this Inyan. The Maril says, one of the Rishonim, you see where it says Zion, the second paragraph Zion. Lag BaOmer lo'olam hu yudches be'iyar. It's a minhogim of the Maril. Uv'shachris einay mem tchina, you don't say tachnon. Amar Mari Segel, after the...
Who said this? These two places, Maganza and Valmesha.
I think it's probably another girsa. I'm not sure why it's in different ACs. Amar Mari Segel, Afal Gav the Isa Gemara, the Talmidei Bekiva Mesu in Pesach Atzeres. The Gemara itself in Yavama says that they were nifter from Pesach until Atzeres. Kol Mokim Oisim Yoim Lag BaOmer Yoim Simcha. You make a Lag BaOmer Yoim Simcha. Should the Mesu Rak Hayomim Shoim Bem Tchina. Copy came upside down. The Shiva Eimer. Basically, the sheet that the Maril is quoting over here, the Beis Yosef quotes in the name of another Rishon, is that the Talmidei Akiva indeed passed away from Pesach till Atzeres, but only in the days. Only the days, not according to the sheet. Only on the days that they did not, that they said Tachnon. Days which it didn't say Tachnon, they didn't pass away.
The only day they didn't say Tachnon was Lag BaOmer.
No, that's later on. Like BaOmer is late an outcome because like BaOmer is a special. It's later on. Like BaOmer then. Well, Cheshvan will be like this: 7 days of Pesach. 7 days of Pesach. You have 7 Shabbosis that you have during the 7 days of Sefira. And then you have the 2 days of Rish Chodesh.
18.
So altogether it's 16. 16. 7, 7, and 2.
So 16 minus
16 days. If you minus is from the 49 days, you left with a full 33 days. Now, this shita holds, this minig holds, the sefer that the Beis Yosef is quoting from. Is quoted. This sefer is from the Yosef ibn Shoev, quotes in the name of Tosfos. We don't have this Tosfos. According to this Mahalich, the minig was that you only kept Aveilus when there was no, when you said Tachnon that day. But Rish Chodesh, you didn't say Tachnon. Now Aveilus. So you keep Aveilus from Pesach until Atzeres.
Besides the days that
you Rish Chodesh, you don't say Tachnon. So they weren't nifter on Rish Chodesh. So that's why the Chodesh Iyar, they didn't.
The mistake coming to make
the Chodesh Iyar, they would take haircuts. But says the Beis Yosef, that's only good according to those people that have a minig that they keep Aveilus the entire time from Pesach up until Shavuos, and it's based on this thing of this shita. So then you can be mekel on the Chodesh, but Lafi our minig that we hold is the first 34 days because we have based on a medrash. So what's a Chodesh Iyar? It's the middle of the 34 days. So how can you take a haircut? Nothing. It's true you don't say Tachnon and Chodesh Iyar, but it has nothing to do with it according to the opinion. Our minig is based the first 34 days based on the medrash. This is a whole entire different minig. It's not our minig to do that. And if they want to follow that minig, they have to keep it the way it is. You want to be Mekel Rish Chodesh, you have to keep Aveilus from the beginning to the end because that's based on a different shita.
This is where Beis Yosef
explains where the mistake came from. But he says he thinks they compared it to this minig. They saw in Sfarim about this minig that you could take a haircut Rish Chodesh because you don't say Tachnon. But they didn't chapse that that's based on a different type of minig that we don't do. Our minig doesn't have any place to stop in the middle of the Lamed Al Yamim and to allow you to do it. Because after Lamed Al Yamim, according to the Beis Yosef, you don't have to keep any Aveilus till Shavuos. Because this, according to this Medrash, it's only at Prois Atzeres. It's finished. So this is the Shita of Lamed Dalet. While we're midday Daber, the Beis Yosef, we heard about a different minig. A minig that keeps from Pesach till Shavuos. No, the entire Zman from Pesach till Shavuos. But they, except for the days that you don't say Tachna. Right? Now. The Darkei Moshe.
How many of those?
16.
All Pesach, all Shabbos, seven Shabbos, and Rosh Chodesh. So you have 7 plus 2, 16 days.
So minus 1649, you have 33 days of Aveilus, but Memeshech the whole Zman.
Right.
But the Beis Yosef says that's not our minig.
Right.
So these people that are taking haircuts for Chodesh are making are making a mistake. Because our minig is based on a medrash. He holds 34 days. Because he holds there's a medrash. We show him bring down a medrash. Shemeisimi Pesach at Proisat Seres, which means until 15 days before Shavuos, which means take 15 days, all for 49, is 34 days. The 44th day, there's no concept of Lag BaOmer. The Pri Megadim points out, based on the Beis Yosef's Mahalich, there's nothing special about Lag BaOmer. Remember, the Paskim doesn't say anything about Rishim Bar Yochai. This is we only discuss what Tamid Rebbe Kiva.
This is a minute that came out later.
We live in the same time, but
this is a minute that came out later.
Beis Yosef and Ari were
they lived in they davened in the tzfas together.
Ari was a younger contemporary. But they were
younger.
They were both there in Sefard, but Ari was in his 30s, and Beit Yosef at the time was in his 70s.
So did they have interactions with each other?
Yeah.
Who was who to who? Who considered who was Rebbe if or were they Chaver?
Okay, well, there's a story that apparently it's a true story that the Yosef Karo, he wanted to learn Kabbalah with the Arizal. And whenever he came into the learning, he would doze or fall asleep.
I thought that was the Alshich.
That was Alshich, yeah.
No, it was.
Yeah, the Alshich wanted to.
I think it was the
No, it was the Alshich. Yeah. And he told the Alshich that he should stick to Pshat.
To Rash.
To Rosh, but he was Moshe Pshat.
The Shama is from Oilam Hadra Rosh.
No, well, the way I remember it clearly is.
Yeah, but we remember it differently.
Okay, it was the Beit Yosef.
I understand.
And Arizal told him not to stop that. He told him that his neshama was only misugal to comprehend the Kabbalah Ramak, but not the Arizal.
Oh, that could be something else. You ever hear that?
No. So Maisa, so we have here now we have 2 days. Now the Beis Yosef and the Darkei Moshe. Beis Yosef is the Rabbi Yosef Kair, the Mechaber Shulchan Aruch, and the Darkei Moshe has notes on the Torah and the Beis Yosef. That's the Ramah. But this is the Ramah on the Beis Yosef, right? He has notes, and then he later on the Mechaber wrote, the Beis Yosef wrote a Shulchan Aruch, and the Ramah wrote notes on it. But it's all based. You have to go back to understand the understanding behind on the Beis Yosef and the Darkei Moshe. There they first argued it out. The Darkei Moshe says, by us the minig pashut is not like the Beis Yosef to keep 34 days. We keep 33 days. And we have simcha, we make simcha on the 33rd day.
Sfaradim is Lamed Dalet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
See?
they don't make a party on Lag BaOmer?
This is based on the
party,
Mechaber.
I wasn't Lag BaOmer by this. There's more simcha.
No, but no weddings?
The Sheva and Lamed Dalet, not Lamed Gimel.
And weddings, no weddings on. This is based on the
They hear music.
Mechaber.
They listen to music.
Based on the Mechaber and Shulchan Aruch. They said Lamed Daled Yamim.
Oh, Mechaber is Lamed Dalet.
Yeah, I'm saying he based on the Medrash. It says Ad Prois Atzeres, 15 days before is 34. Now, right away the Darkei Moshe says that's not our minig. Our minig is that we do take haircuts on the 33rd day, and not the night going into the 33rd is still Aveilus. Mixes a Yom Kikuloi of the day of 33. That's what the Darkei Moshe writes. This is also la halacha, the same thing la halacha. The Beis Yosef and Shulchan Aruch, the Mechaber writes 34 days. The Ramah right away comments 33 days. So you have Machlokes already, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, and minhogim. Now, what's the reason behind the Ramah, the Maril? He doesn't go with this medrash that's brought down, quoted. We don't have this in our medrash. No, he saw the Beis Yosef bringing it, but it's minhagim, right? The question is, we see different kilos, different minhagim. What is the minhagim based on? So Yosef says our minig is based on this medrash. The Ramah lived in Ashkenaz, right? So in Ashkenazish countries, this is the way they. What's it based on? It's based on this Maril that we're reading here. The Maril says, let's take a look again. The Maril says, even though Amamari Segel, Afagav the Isa Gemara by Zion, second line. Tamida Bekiva Mason Pesach Alatzaris. Mikol Makim Oisim Beyoim Lamagimel Ba'omer Yoim Simcha. We make on Lag BaOmer a day of Simcha. Why? They passed away, the Gemara says, from Pesach until Atzeres. They only passed away in the days that they said Tachna. The Shiva Shavuos, Omer, these 7 days. The copy is upside down on the other side. Any day which they did not say Tchina.
And what day was it?
You have it right, actually. The second page. That's my original, take off, subtract from the 49 days of Sfiras Omer, the Zayin Yemei HaChag, 7 days of Yom Tif, Gimel Yomim Dechal Behen Rish Chodesh, the 3 days that Rish Chodesh falls out, 2 days of Iyar and 1 day of Sivan, Shnayim Liyar V'Echelasim, the Zayin Shabbos is take off the 7 weeks. So you take off that 14 and 3, so you have 17. Pashul Lamed, you have left over, meaning 32 days. Nimse Delemesu Rak Lamed Beis Yamim. They only passed away 32 days. L'chein shekalo ois Lamed Beis Yamim shemesu oisin l'macharasan simcha l'zeicher. When those 32 days that they passed away are over, then the next day we make a simcha for that inyan. Now, what this means is, Rabbi Yisai, this is similar to what the Beis Yosef mentioned, right? That there is such a minig that he talks about that they only passed away on the days they didn't say Tachna. But that minig the Beis Yosef mentioned says that you observe Aveilus from Pesach until Atzeres, excluding the days of Aveilus. The days that you say Tachna. The Maril says, yes, indeed, in reality, they passed away the entire time for Pesach Atzeres besides the days of Tachanun. But that's not how we observe the Aveilus. The Aveilus, we do it right away from the beginning. Right from the minig was, right from Pesach, we start doing Aveilus for 32 days. For 32 days.
From end of Pesach, not beginning of Pesach.
No. From Sfiras Omer, the first 32 days of Sfiras Omer.
You're doing Aveilus.
You're doing Aveilus. And that's a Lag BaOmer, you're making a Simcha. Is Lag BaOmer the actual day that they stop passing away? No. It's not. They continue passing away. We make a simin. We're just making a simin that it was only 32 days, and the 33rd day they stop passing, they no longer passed away. By doing this, we observe the first 30 days. We don't spread out the Aveilus over the whole entire Zman. We do it right away.
Right after Lag BaOmer to continue the Aveilus.
No, we don't. Based on the Ramah. I'm not talking about Minig Chabad. But the Ramah. The Ramah says we just do the first. Actually, this is the Maril. The Maril says the first 32 days. But I'm just trying to bring out. We'll see that Ramah himself said 33 days. He said the night of Lag BaOmer, you can't. I'll explain to you soon in it why. L'maiseh, the Maril is telling us Lag BaOmer is not the day
they stop dying.
They stop passing away. There's nothing to do. They passed away the entire time. They passed away 32 days altogether. So we take these 32 days, we put them all together, and as a simin, we keep 32 days, and the 33rd day we make a simcha because it took 32 days for them to pass away.
So why combine it with the Rashbi?
It's a separate thing. That's more Kpi Kabbalah, and it's a separate inyan.
It's a strange, like middle of Aveilus, you have a simcha and you continue the Aveilus.
No, but even now, the Ramah himself doesn't say exactly the way the Maril said 32 days. The Ramah says in Shulchan Aruch that the night of that the 33rd day you have to keep Aveilus also. the night and a little bit of the morning. Miksa Yinkakuli. Meaning, the Maril says it was only 32 days. And the 33rd day is finished. The entire 33rd day is you can have Simcha. Mashen King the Ramah didn't learn that way. Why? Because there's a machlokes whether or not you calculate Rish Chodesh Iyar, 2 days Rish Chodesh as 2 days or 1 day. Rish Chodesh Iyar, when it's Malay, Chodesh Malay, we just had 2 days Rish Chodesh.
Right.
Lamed and Aleph, but really Rish Chodesh is really 1 day. Just there was a suffix, what day was Rish Chodesh?
So you take out 1 day.
If you could take out 1 more day,
So you have 32.
then you have to keep 33 days. So the Maril said you calculate 7 Shabbosos, 7 days of Pesach, 3 days of Rish Chodesh, 2 of Iyar, 1 and this is 17. So you go back
49 minus
30, 17. You're going to be left with
31.
32, right? 32. So now,
22 days, not 3 days.
17 minus 49 is 32. But I think this is not. It's not clear. But that's the way I. It's not clear to me exactly what the reason is. But maybe this is the reason of the Ramah, who learned that it was 33 days. I'll tell you really what the Ramah is learning. The Ramah is a different cheshbon. The Bechal is a difficulty of it. There's really no 7 Shabbosos and 7 days of Pesach. Because one of the Shabbosos is on the 7 days of Pesach. Every 7 days has a Shabbos, right?
Yes.
Can't have 7 days without a Shabbos.
Right.
So when you say we're calculating 7 days of Pesach, 7 days of Shabbos, it doesn't work. 7 days of Pesach include a Shabbos. So you're only left with 6 Shabbos.
He missing 1 day.
Yeah. So this is the Ramah's cheshbon is
The 32.
that's how it's 33.
No, you take out 1 Shabbos.
So you take out 1 Shabbos, so now how much are you subtracting?
16.
Only 16. 16 minus 49 is 33. So they passed away for 33 days. Now, Loy Demaril, and that's actually our minig that we already stop Aveilus the night of Lag BaOmer. Not only by day, we don't wait for the day. Already at night, people are putting on music and taking care.
Sure.
Already at night. That's not based. The Ramah does not bring this minig, but that the Maril that fits with the Maril. That 32 days, and that's it. Only 32 days. So far we have 34 days. The Mechaber, 33 days in the Ramah. And in the Maril we have 32 days. Now, how do we have, what's the reason for the minig that some keep the beginning and some keep the ending? Some start from Rish Chodesh Iyar or Beis Iyar till the ending, till Shavuos, and some keep the first. It's all based on this mahalech of the Maril, what the Maril said, Beis Yosef mentioned this minig, that they only passed away in the days of, that they didn't say Tachtim. Some minhogim choose the first 33 days to be noyeg the Aveilus, and some say the last 33 for the Aveilus. But again, it's only a siman. It's not actual days, according to these opinions. It's not the actual days that they passed away on. We're just making a siman how many days it was, and that's how much we're going to have
So
Aveilus.
what's the marker from the beginning and this first and the second street? What's the marker for it?
To keep the beginning half and the second
Yeah,
half?
like why did they choose?
Why they choose each one? Veisach nicht.
Is there any marker?
When do you want to have your weddings? At the beginning or the ending?
No, it can't be that way based on expediency. It's got to be some type of.
No, there was some
It has to
reason.
be a real reason.
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that are not clear.
Okay,
It's
what
always
about?
cheshbonus of the minhogim. It's all based in different minhagim.
Yeah.
Understand?
Fine.
What's the reason for each minig? What's the knech
Before the
here?
Rishonim, are there Makairis from the Gainim? Or this is the first that speak about it, the first people that speak about it are the Rishonim?
The exact amount of days. It's all in the Rishonim. I don't know Divrei Goinim. I don't see anything quoted from the Goinim.
Because they had Minhagim all the way since the days of,
The Me'idi says that,
Rashbi.
I think the Me'idi, I recall that there's a Me'idi which says, it's probably the Me'idi on Yavamas over there, or maybe it's in another Gemara. The Me'idi says that we have a Kabbalah that they stop passing away on Lag BaOmer. But Lamaisi, you see, not everyone learns of it. The Mechaber actually learns that it was on the 34th day, because based on this Medrash that is quoted in Sfarim,
Right.
that they actually stopped passing away 34 days. It was 34 days, and the 34th day, it's not based on that from Pesach till Atzeres and the day, excluding the days of Tachanun. No. It was actually the first half, but it was 34 days. Now, by the way, there are also those, like the Taz, Lamashal. The Taz learns that the fact that we keep the first half is not just because of the Siman. Even those who learn 33 days, he says, it's also based on the fact that that's when they actually passed away, the first 33 days. Till now, what we were saying was, based on the Ramah himself learns 33 days. We just take the first 33 days. But in reality, they were being lifted the whole time. Taz learns, no. Our minig is taka 33 days, not like the Mechaba 34. But we hold that the 33rd day is when they actually stop passing away. And it wasn't between the whole time for Pesach Tatzeres. And by the way, the Ramah himself, he knows that there's a minig that does 34 days. And the if I'm not mistaken, I saw where the Ramah himself, there's an understanding for the Ramah in Darkei Moshe. The Darkei Moshe himself explains that the minig that does 34 days, like the Sfardim that do 34 days, the Machaber said it's based on a Medrash, that they stop passing away 34.
Right.
Says the Ramah, no, that's not why they do 34. They do 30, really they passed away, like I'm always explaining to you the whole entire time for Pesach Atzeres. Why they stop 34 is because they're counting Rish Chodesh Iyar as one day. You calculate Rish Chodesh Iyar as one day, so then you have only less a day. One less day, so you have to keep another day of Aveilus. One less day of passing away. If you mechashiv Rish Chodesh Iyar as one day. So the Mechaber wants to understand everything. 34 is the actual date. The Ramah understands is not 34 is not the actual date, and 33 is not the actual date. Our minig is to keep 33, but those who keep 34, it's also based on the fact that as cheshbon is how you work out which day, how many days they were nifter from Pesach Tatzeres. On the days they didn't say Tach.
Who was first, Rabbi Akiva or Rashbi?
Rabbi Akiva was the Rebbe of Rashbi.
Rabbi Akiva?
And Rabbi Shbi was from the Talmidim that survived.
From the five.
That continued on the
Rashbi was after. Okay.
He represented the correction, the proper Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva that went in a real derech, that they were noy kavod zebazeh and that mahalach. So therefore, it was the future. Now, Lamaiseh, what the Taz points out a very stark kasha, which we don't have any answer according to our shita. Remember, there is opinions that say the first half, and some say the second half. Those that say the second half, it's based on the fact that the first half of the second half, according to the Ramah, we follow the Ramah, it's all based on the fact that some minhogim were to do the first 33, some of them to do the last 33, but it's not the actual days that they were nifter, it's just a siman, it's a heker. So he says, according to the second opinion, the 33 days starts from Rish Chodesh, from after Rish Chodesh, from Beis Iyar. There's no reason to celebrate Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer is Yud Ches Iyar. It's the middle of...
It's before the first one.
According to the one that holds it the first 33 days, Lag BaOmer is the ending of the 33.
Oh, but I'm saying
but according to the second, the minig that says from Beis Iyar till Shavuos, that's the 30 days, the second half of the Sfiras Omer. What's Lag BaOmer? It's the middle. What does it mean? So the Taz says there's no reason to keep it. According to the second opinion, there's no reason to keep Lag BaOmer. We see that we have a minig that we keep Aveilus from Pesach till Atzeres, right? That's the Taz, where the Taz lived. The minig was from Pesach till Atzeres to be Noeg Aveilus. Besides for Lag BaOmer. So he says, I don't understand. Why are you not doing Lag BaOmer? If the point why you're doing from Pesach to Atzeres is in order to machmer to both shitas, well, according to the second shita, the 33 days, second minhag, the 33 days of the second half, Lag BaOmer is in the middle of the second half, so you're not allowed to be makel. And according to the first opinion, the first minhag, it makes sense. But if you're doing the whole entire time to be machmer, why be makel?
Because it's like tat to the sides.
Oh, so one thing is, first of all, you have to understand, it's not mamish makel.
No, I'm saying that if
we're not mamish. According to the Taz, you're not mamish makel totally. According to the Taz, that day of Lag BaOmer, you'll keep the night.
Exactly.
Keep the night. So you have Mixay Yom Kippur.
Exactly.
But ask the Taz, still, he said, I don't understand. Shkoyach, he came up to do this Torah Mixay Yom Kippur, which usually, by the way, you only say on the last day of Aveilus. But over here, you're going to apply this Chiddush even in the middle of the days of Aveilus to Mixay Yom Kippur. But why Lag BaOmer? What's special about Lag BaOmer? Choose any other day. What is this day special?
Well, we know there's a Kabbalah that's the day.
But the Taz didn't know, and the Taz is saying he doesn't understand it.
So therefore, the Taz.
It was after, but the result itself is not clear what Lag BaOmer. The whole thing Lag BaOmer is amazing. It's a mamish minig, which is not a lot of not clarity as to whether you saw it. So Lamaisa was the.
We know that's where the Rashbi is buried, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. So Lamaisa is that maybe next year we'll speak about the Makoidis of Lag BaOmer, the sources for Lag BaOmer. Lamaisa is that the Taz does not understand why we're picking this day and being makel. You want to pick a day, pick another day. What are you picking a day to be makel? So here he comes with a beautiful chap, but it doesn't help us, but it helps the Taz. He comes with a big chiddush. She says, really, I'll explain to you what's going on over here.
I have a small question.
Yeah.
Where the minhag from, if Lag BaOmer come on Sunday, I understand they want to... They start from Tuesday afternoon. Where did this come from?
Tuesday.
It's not Friday.
Lag BaOmer is on a Sunday, you start from Tuesday?
Tuesday night.
Thursday.
Erev Shabbos, you can take it.
So by the Erev Shabbos is Tuesday night already.
According to some opinions, but only for haircuts and something. The covered Shabbos. Now.
So why? Because no, we asked this question last week. Also,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Why? Because Sunday.
I think the Bach discusses it. I have to look at it again. I think the Bach asks this question. Lamaitza Zoi. Yeah, I don't understand this one. Now, Lamaitza Zoi. The Taz gives a beautiful explanation. I'm just bringing it down, but we're not. This is not going to help our personal minhag. But the Taz is like this. You know why we chose Lag BaOmer? Very pashut. Really, the Taz of the Shita does not hold like the Ramah, that the 33 days are spread out between the whole time it takes on the No, the 33 days are the first 33 days. That's when they passed away, and on the Lag BaOmer they stopped passing away. That's when it's a real. It's not just a simon. It's not just a simon. That is the actual date when they stopped. They stopped. So says the Taz, because that, and that's the Iker Shita. Says the Taz. Therefore, by us, really, Lag BaOmer is the finishing of Aveilus. That's the reality. So that's why in Lag BaOmer day we start. We're besimcha. We're marba besimcha because ba'etzem. It's only the first 33 days. Then so reality is we shouldn't be keeping anything. Why do we keep until Shavuos? It can't be, says the Taz, it's to be choishish for the other Shita. It can't be to be choishish for the one that does the second half, because why are we stopping in the middle like BaOmer? If we're concerned with the second opinion, that avails the second half, you can't stop like BaOmer. And why dafka like BaOmer? So, says the Taz, it must be that it's not because we're choishish for the second Shita. We hold Be'ikr like the first day, and we hold that it's the actual day that they stop passing away was like BaOmer. Why do we continue on Aveilus after the 33rd day? It's for a totally separate reason. During this period of time, in the year Tuf Nun Vav, 900 years ago, so there was big Zedus in Klai on times of Rishonim. A lot of cities were wiped out, and during the Crusades, and this time period, it happened Be'ikr in this time period. So therefore, no, till Shavuos.
It's from Pesach to Shavuos.
Yeah. So therefore, even though mitzad the Aveilus of Talmidei Rebbe Kiva,
Lag
BaOmer would stop it, and that's why we make a simcha on that day to show that we finished.
And the rest is Xer.
The rest is for the Aveilus that happened for another Inyan. Nothing to do with the Inyan of
Talmidei Rebbe
Kiva.
They do only to Lag BaOmer and came up the Xeris
L'chora, based on
from the situation.
But in order to show that the siyum is like BaOmer, so we stop in the middle. We have a day where we stop in the middle. We have simcha to show that the ikra Aveilus is over, but then we continue on Aveilus. And actually, the way the minig was by the Taz was that they did not make a wedding. They only made a wedding on Lag BaOmer, not before, not after. But haircuts, they were makel after Lag BaOmer. Why would they makel haircuts after Lag BaOmer? He says, if we're not marrying, so why should we allow haircuts? If we're trying to be choishish for the second day, don't allow anything. Right. Obviously, this fits with my shita that the second half is not the same as the first half. The second half is because of a different Aveilus. And therefore, they were only machmer for weddings, which is an extra simcha. Haircuts, you can be makel. But the first half, which is Masada Talmidei Rebbe Akiva, which is Masada Din of the Gemara, which the Gemara mentions, that we have to be knowing, this minig is a stronger minig. It's not from the days of the Rishonim. It's about Talmidei Rebbe Akiva, which all of Klal Yisrael is a chiyuv to be misabel for them. Therefore, it's more stricter, and it's not only on the suin, it's also on haircuts. L'maisa, by the way, this doesn't help us, because we hold, the Magen Avraham and the Alter Rebbe all hold,
all Aveilus.
that the reason why we keep Aveilus the same much from the beginning till the end.
Yeah.
Because they died.
And we don't know, and not only the suin, even here, not going to hear, they're all the same. And why? Because we're being machma like both shitas.
That they died the whole day.
No, wait. We're machma like both opinions. One opinion says that when should you commemorate? When should you make the zeicher for when they passed away? The 33 days of the first half. The other minute gets to do the second half. We're machma both. Comes out according to us. It's very hard to understand why is Lag BaOmer a special day.
Because the whole is middle.
It's the middle of the second shita. According to the Taz, he comes up with a whole chiddush over here with a whole new mahalach how to explain it. But based on what it clearly says in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch in the Magen Avraham, that there is a minig that does the entire time for Pesach Tzedek is based on a chumrah. None of them say this far to the Taz. This is only the Taz that says it's chiddush. None of the Achrayim say it. They all take on that the reason that there are some people that are machmer to both days, both minhogim in the singing. So we're machmer to both, but the shaila is, why are we cutting in the middle like BaOmer? So the Pri Megadim says, interesting lashon. He says, for some reason, there must be some reason why they took Lag BaOmer dafke. Doesn't know why dafke this day.
It's Hoyt Shebehod. Jews are Yehudim.
Tell you the lashon of the Megadim.
Holy.
Some people don't say Tachnun in the whole
week.
V'ulai yesh.
I just think there's one, just one.
No, some people don't say the whole 3 weeks.
What 3 weeks?
From Pesach Sheni to Shul. Counts down the...
Yeah? They don't do any time?
You said no.
Now,
Wow.
Ulai yesh, he says, based on the second minig, that still in all is meikol like BaOmer. The Alter Rebbe Bada himself says it, that even those who follow the second opinion, that's the second half of the second 33 days, they're also meikol like BaOmer. Why are they meikol like BaOmer?
How you answer it?
V'ulai yesh eiza tam the bacharu dafke b'yom Lag BaOmer dafke l'staper by v'loimar mixayin kekuli limiting shady. But what's the reason they finished? But it says that Dibber Nechemia was a Talmud of the Alter Rebbe, Nechemia of the Bravna. He also married a grandchild of the Alter Rebbe, and he said that once we know was Nigla in Pi Kabbalah that we hold, the Mukabalim held that this was a time when the Shpi was Yom Hilula. So we understand why it's Dafka this day. It means even according to the second minig, that the second half of 33 days, that's only what they keep. Even they are mafsik in the middle for Lag BaOmer because of a special simcha for Shem Bar Yochai.
And the Nigla take the
and you have no other reason. In Nigla, the poskim are struggling. The Taz comes with the whole Mahaleh. And the Pri Megadim says that maybe some type of reason. We don't know what this reason is. But says the Divin Nechemia, we have a good answer.
The Nigla take the Nister.
Once we have the Nister, we can understand the reason for the Nigla. There's something deeper over here. There was some other reason.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. So that's why you're mafsik. Now, so Lamaisa, what's interesting is about our minig. This is what I don't understand so much. This is about what I have a little bit of a shverikite. We have a minig that we keep we're noyeg Aveilus from Pesach till Shavuos. Right? Now, when it comes to Lag BaOmer, we're already makel the night before. Okay, I'll explain to you why. The Ramah himself doesn't say that. The Ramah himself says it's 33 days. But remember, we have the Maril, which said it's 32 days. So if you do 32 days, so then the 33rd night already, you can already have Aveilus, because you don't need Miksayim Kekuli. Fine. But my shaila is, if we say it's 32 days, then why don't we say Miksayim Kekuli on the 32nd day, and already on the 32nd day, should be able to have a simcha. I don't understand. You read Shulchan Aruch, the Shita, it's a full 32 days. Why should it be a full 32 days? Once you're saying it's only 32 days, then on the 32nd day you should apply the klal. Unless we'll say something about Hashem Yichai again, that we're honoring, we're taking the whole day for...
Because of Hashem.
That Be'etzem it's 33 days we hold. And why we make on the 33rd day to take away the whole 33rd day is because of the Shemay Yichai Zimilul. I don't know if you could say it. It's a stretch.
I heard this. It's such a lot. So we didn't get.
Can sein.
To show the strength.
How come Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai?
He's saying that. Why don't we do
He's
30?
the only Rebbe
But to honor
that
Hashem
holds so much. He's there in the Gilula. Millions coming there. All the others,
But
nothing.
also on the other hand, it's showing him just
Big koya this time.
like Erev Shabbos.
You should know that right near Meron,
He was
not
there
far
Shabbos.
from the caver, Shimei Yichai is buried there with his son, Belazar, right? Not far, very close by, is also the caver of another Tanan of Yochanan Sandler.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it.
It's not, but it's not so busy over there. But everyone's there. I one time met a Yid.
It was the Maggid
Was
Zayda.
going to. I was on the way to Meron, and I met a Yid, and he told me that he Kineda, he needs a Yeshua or something. He read somewhere that in Kabbalah it says that a tzaddik, that everyone comes to him, he's like busy, with all the. So he found a tzaddik, it's not so busy. Yochanan Sandler. So he made himself a list of all the Mishnayos and Memris and Gemara of Yochanan Sandler, and he goes to the Yochanan Sandler's caver. No, B'chalal. And he went to Yochanan Sandler's caver, and I'm like, boy, you have to go to the Shvi. But then they go to the Yochanan Sandler's caver too.
Sandler. But it's
So he's
Yochanan Sandler's in
You say
Tzfas.
his name when you buy shoes.
No, it's in Meron. Mamish like maybe
It's not
20,
far, yeah.
20, 30 feet away.
Really?
Only comes.
Very close. I don't remember exactly how far. It's very close.
Close to
Wow.
show
But people don't know that. It's just
No, there's people down by it.
people know there. But I'm saying everyone's focusing on Hashem Yichai, but there is Ramis.
The Maggid Zayda. Maggid Zayda.
Yeah. The story.
It's right.
Yeah. So you see, interesting how all these minhogim, this whole Indian is so many different minhogim. It's all minhogim. And each minig to understand, and every paisik has another reason how he understands that minig. Now you know we're makel today. Ba'etzem originally Chabad was always machim. We spoke about it last week up until Shavuos itself. Even the Rebbe Rashabit said that he was makbid on anyone who took haircuts on Erev Shavuos.
Before Chatzot.
That's what it says.
Yeah, that's this. After
So-
Chatzot, we are allowed.
So you have to say also
You're not supposed to do Malach after Chatzos.
Api Kabbalah.
Not Melach.
Api Kabbalah, you're not.
You have to
I
get
don't
from
remember
a
about
On
Chatzois.
Erev
This is not a
Pesach.
problem.
Ada Pesach is more
Because-
chomer. Ada Pesach is
Shabbos.
more chomer because of the
So when you
Pesach.
you can do.
So you can't do any malacha on Shabbos.
You could do it erev, but according to a lot of
First
sheets,
day of
you
Yom
do it
Tov
erev.
Shabbos, right? The first day of Yom
You
Tov.
do erev.
No, it's
Sure.
Sunday and Monday, I think.
Yes.
We are makbid api Kabbalah to wait for
Sunday,
later.
Monday?
The emes is that mixes hayoim kekulei. Even if you want to macher both shitas and go all the way to Erev but the last day is mixing kekulei. The reason why the Rebbe Rashab was makbid was not because of nigla, it was because of nista. That Rizal was makbid not to cut his hair. Mitzad says mana gvuris and different things, not to cut his hair till after Shavuos. Not only that, in most places it says that even like BaOmer not to cut the hair. There were a lot of Chassidim.
What's that Chabad Mina? We don't take
Chabad
it.
doesn't take a minute like BaOmer.
We do Chasanat.
Unless you have a need, right? You have a
Right.
upsharnish,
Or breeze.
or if someone has very long hair.
Chatan יכול להתגלח?
Yeah, לא להתגלח.
If someone has very long hair, he could also take a haircut like BaOmer. But in general, the Rebbe himself took a few times during
Lag BaOmer?
when it was a special occasion, when there was a special like BaOmer parade or something. So he won, but generally he didn't take on Lag BaOmer.
But it was only for Nasi, right?
The Fiedeke also took. The Fiedeke also took at times.
Everybody look at him, yes?
Revolve Greenglass from Montreal. As well known as a Mekubal and a big Mashpia. So Revolve says that he came to visit the Fiedeke Rebbe in 1947. I don't remember what it was when they originally the Bachram came out from. They escaped from Europe and they went to Canada. They didn't have a chance to come to New York to the Fiedeke Rebbe till a while later. And when they came to Lag BaOmer, so he saw, he was there at that time period, and he noticed that it looked like the Fiedeke Rebbe took a haircut. So he asked the Rebbe confirmed to him that the Fiedeke Rebbe took a haircut. But Chassidim generally don't try not to take a haircut the entire Zman. Unless you have a tzoyrich. If you have a tzoyrich you couldn't take before, whatever it is, and then there are people that make it. Revolve himself, I remember telling him a Bacher in Yeshiva, they had very long hair, he told them you could take a Lag BaOmer haircut.
But if somebody is in the Shloshim, at the end of the Shloshim,
No, Shloshim and Aveilus.
somebody tells him,
if he's allowed up here,
to take a haircut.
Oh man.
now.
So what's the mice of the Shloshim Agbola? What do we do?
Oh, so originally the minig was that all the Shloshim Agbola were part of the Chumrah, because if you remember that in the second minig that holds you do the second 33 days, the machlekes. The main minig is you start from Beis Iyar till Shavuos. But there is those that want to be Mekel and Shloshim Agbola. So they say the second minig starts from the first Rish Chodesh. The first day Rish Chodesh. You gain yourself 2 days, right? So then Shloshim Agbola, the first day of Shloshim Agbola, you'll have to keep the night in the morning. And then the rest, you don't have to give Aveilus. So when we are now Machmer, Minig Chabad is in Machmer both, the beginning to the ending. L'chatchil or Machmer, like the opinion which says that the second Minig starts on Beis Iyar. So we don't finish until Shavuos. But if you need to be Mekel, so you can Mekel that I'm only Machmer like the second opinion, the second Minig, but only starting from first day to Chodesh, so then I gave myself Shloshim Agbola. So Lamaisa, traditionally, and Ad Hayom Hazeh, Aveilus is really up until Shavuos for Minig Chabad. However, because there was an issue of lack of holes, and the Rebbe also wanted that people should get married, shorten the time in between their engagement and the chasana period. So if you're going to push it off, sometimes it's going to have to be after the summer, be a long wait. So therefore, the Rebbe allowed in the later years, the Rebbe started to allow that you should be able to do a chassan in the Shloshis Agbola.
And Daga Chabad doing it now.
Because
if you need.
I mean...
The reason I'm bringing it out is that you have to remember the fact, if someone has a day, he's able to do it Isur Chag right after Shavuos, he doesn't have to push Shloshim Agbola. But if you're going to be stuck without a hole, then yeah, in a chanami.
Didn't the Rebbe himself marry about a year?
I'm telling you that even a bigger chiddush, that the Rebbe writes in a letter, you shouldn't even lechatchila make Lag BaOmer a chassidus.
I never did it.
No,
I don't remember getting an answer.
Letter in the... You look in the Sefer, Shidduchim in the Suyin, it has all the collection.
About this Lag BaOmer.
The letter to the Rebbe, like the early years, the Rebbe would not want chassidus. If you're able to, not to make a chassidus.
And then the Rebbe give brochas.
Lag BaOmer was already... There was a certain time, in the 70s maybe, whenever it was a certain time, the Rebbe started to allow chassidus Lag BaOmer. And then Mamish in the later years, when the Rebbe started allowing Shloshim Agbola.
Get you one next time. Get you one next time.
It's taka interessant when it comes to this inyan that we're so machmer the minhogim. You know, the whole thing is just a minig. This minig, that minig. In each minig you have different two shittas. L'chatchila, the inyan is to take the whole thing. I don't know what the different minhagim are over here. He says the Spanish minig they do 34 days. But on the 33rd day they make a simcha, right? So you see that even by the Svardim they're taking on that this is the day of Rashbi, because that's why they're being mafsik.
Yeah, more strong with the Rashbi.
They just don't make weddings, but they cut their hair.
Yeah.
And they do simcha music.
Yeah.
The next day.
Alright,
Next day.
on the 30th.
Not on the
Not like
30th.
Not like BaOmer? But
But
on like BaOmer. Interessant.
the Sfardim are more with the Ilula from Rashbi than Ashkenazim. It's interesting.
You know, there's a discussion with the Shabbos.
Well, they feel it more. They learn more
Shabbos.
Zohar. You know, someone told me the Sephardim didn't intermarry like the Ashkenazim.
No.
Did not.
Did not intermarry. And
Used to.
No.
Used to be.
Sephardim never had suffered from the whole problem of intermarriage and reforming conservative.
And reforming
The
service.
Scholar movement was by Ashkenazi.
Only by Ashkenazim, not by Sephardim.
Because those lands did not have the whole...
Movement of a scholar.
what's
Yeah.
the movement called? But also in English... the whole enlightenment of those countries and the countries, the Western thinking, right, brought about a whole different thinking, right? So it's made a big change where all the Goyim were rethinking everything. So
Right,
it caused ashpa, and a lot of Yidden unfortunately got verchapt. But in those countries that were those Middle Eastern countries, that things were staying where they were all the years until today. It's still the same way, right? For thousands of years. So there wasn't any enlightenment movement. There wasn't a Haskalah, so they didn't have that Haskalah movement by the Sephardim. The Sephardim stayed the same Emunah, the same Messiah and the minhogim, very, very strong. All the Deiris.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to tell you, there are certain Ashkenazim which are like Sephardim, in a way, where they're much less affected by intermarriage and reforming conservative. That is, in places like England, South Africa, and Australia. And mainly the issue of all these things, intermarriage, reform, and conservative, is mainly an issue in America. And the reason for that is because the United States, America was always considered a treifa Medina. You know, for some it was the golden Medina, you know, the gold country. Some place it was a treifa Medina, right? Like from a Yidden, America had no establishment, no Messiah of Kehilas of thousands of years. Europe had, they were there for 1,000 years, they lived in...
Even Italy.
So all these places, that's even a bigger Messiah in those places in Italy. They're from Bayis Rishim is probably. So Lamaisa was that, and there was nothing in America. There was no infrastructure of Yiddishkeit. So any Yid that went on his own and traveled here
Make his own
wasn't going to stay from. So there was only people that stayed from over here were a handful of people that managed to stay strong. And you also had to work. America was an industrial nation. You had to work on Shabbos. That now it's already easier, but then it was, you don't work on Shabbos, you're not getting a job. So the whole light, it was Eretz Echelas Yisrael, ate up its inhabitants. You came here, it was over with. There was actually the kunshas from the Chafetz Chaim. The Chafetz Chaim is a lot of svarim, smaller svarim. One of the svarim is where he explains why you're not supposed to move to America.
Because you're gonna
He doesn't say the word America, but he says to a certain country, and that's just the move. It explains, goes to reason after reason why it's a Torah, you shouldn't come here.
But that wasn't the das of the Rebbe's.
Chassidish Rebbe's also didn't send people. The Yechidim...
It did, the Shidduch Rebbe did.
Yechidim had certain Yechidim for certain Yanim and the Shamazach.
They held that they have to care. A lot of Rebbe's held that the From should, because otherwise there's going to be millions of Jews that are going to get lost. There were Rebbe's that sent Dafka.
Certain
One
people.
of them was the Shidduch Rebbe.
Certain people. So
He held that his Chassidim would be
there was no
strong.
yeshivas here. There was no, there was nothing to keep anything here. So that's why who came here first? People that were maskilim came here first, enlightened Jews, quote unquote. And then those from people came here very quickly themselves or their children quickly became in the melting pot of America. So any Yiddishkeit of Judaism that was here was based on secular Jews.
No, there's a lot of...
So reform and conservative.
They were banished. They were banished during Gorish Sfard. They went to like these islands, and then they came to America from these islands.
They were the first ones.
They were the first ones. They weren't.
Like the shul that's in Turo and in Manhattan.
Exactly. But I want to say another thing about the Sephardim. Another reason they say why they're very much to the Rashi is because they always, and they didn't assimilate. They say it's because every Shabbos they learned a lot of Zohar. They said Zohar.
Yeah, all the Sephardic lands were much more had a shpa of Zohar, much more influenced by Zohar. Much more influenced by Zohar and learning Kabbalah. Kabbalah spread much more there.
By then, if you're into marriage, they take you off in the summer.
Yeah, and not only that.
My wife Ashkenaz.
Not only, not only that, but in some Syrians only can marry in a certain...
So the Ashkenazi Jews that came here from the people only came to America in the masses after World War II. It wasn't until after World War II refugees came in the masses here, and people that were here before World War II struggled very, very much with everything, with kashrus, with Shabbos, with yeshiva, extremely difficult. Most of the people that lived there, a lot of them went to public school. There wasn't girls' schools. It was very difficult. So after World War II, when everyone came, the survivors, everyone came, and it came hundreds of thousands of Yidden. So then so what happened was the whole infrastructure of Yiddishkeit in America was the Federation and the Reform and the conservative movements started off Yiddishkeit here, started off the basis. In countries like South Africa, Australia, and England, it was not that way. First came from a Yidden. From a Yidden came there first. It wasn't like America where everyone was running to America. They from the people came there l'chatchila. So therefore the whole Yiddishkeit is different. That's why everyone there is very traditional. And everyone comes to shul Friday night, and people don't intermarry. The Ashkenazi Jews there have similar to the Sephardim in a certain way, where they're so traditional and strong. In England and all of Europe, the Reform are considered very schwach, and all the traditional, the chief rabbis are Orthodox, and the traditional synagogues are Orthodox. That's the way it is in all these places. Very, very little, like in Eretz Yisrael, in all these places where they have very little. It's in the United States where they have a real strong position.
But my elder Zayda emigrated from Litva first to South Africa, and most of the people there were Lithuanians.
Right.
And even though they were from when they got there, but most of the kids there did a
no yeshiva.
The second
generation was not from.
No yeshiva.
But they didn't become reformists.
They did not?
They did not.
Up till today, the rate of assimilation in these countries is very, very low compared to America, which unfortunately is
scary.
Extremely.
We could have been like 50 million Jews now.
Yeah.
You know, by the Sephardim, the Yemenite,
my grandfather had 11 brothers and sisters.
Tradition, then all the Sephardim.
In New York, in New York.
Yeah, not only from
strongest.
Everything, and all how they read the Torah.
One became about
he's 7 years old. It's a Targum. They stand next to the Torah and say the Targum. I have a brother in Yemenite. I go down there.
They do after every pasuk.
After the pasuk, there's a Targum.
And do they understand the Targum in the Yemenite Jews?
Probably yes. He told me that.
They have a name they call it. What's the name they call it?
Targum.
Yeah, and they have the Jawil.
Once came brought my great uncle to the Rebbe.
Someone tell me that they used to learn.
Targum.
They used to have one Gemara and 20 people around it. And my brother-in-law can read from here,
30 years ago, before I even
trained themselves to.
Unbelievable.
But listen to the story.
And read like
so he comes to my great uncle, my grandfather's brother-in-law.
Is not into.
And he says, Rebbe, I want to introduce you to
owns translation
Bob Barbara.
What that's
Bob says to the Rebbe.
They have the old system in the Yemenite Jews where they still read the Targum.
I'm saying what they say with Taj.
That's not the happy guy. He didn't, I guess he was on whatever. So Rebbe, I wanted to he introduced him to the Rebbe. I want to introduce you to the Kesrel.
He was asked.
The Rebbe says, I know Rebbe Kestel. I want you to introduce Rebbe Kestel to someone who doesn't know him.
He said, if a million reformed
Who was that person? That person was my father.
There would
the first
be.
person that
But he knew
Uncle Bob introduced Rabbi Costello
there's no chance of that happening.
That's the only story I have with my father with the Rebbe.
Which type of crowd was it? From crowd?
Amazing.
No, it was a mainly mixed, but he gave the demographics. He's the head of the Jewish. He gave the demographics. 50% of the Israelis are the traditional or Orthodox or some form or support. 50%, at least 50%. And it's increasing because he said the immigration to Israel is from the Reform are not interested. That's not their place. And the conservative, the same thing. Very simple. It's very interesting. He's really
who spoke?
Sharansky.
איך זה בגיל 50?
Very interesting.
אתה מרגיש שונה או יותר wisdom?
Well, he's head of the Jewish agency, but he's very much involved in absorption. Very, very much absorbed.
So they said that 30,000.
Yeah, 30,000.